What's up, guys? It's munclesonkey here, coming at you with another Slayer guide, and this is a new Slayer monster, one of the two new Slayer monsters. I hope to be exploring the other one, which is Eddymuz, and probably the one that more people are excited about, maybe in a few days. But first of all, we're going with shadow creatures, and this is because this is the task that is better for people that actually like Slayer XP, because it's very, very good Slayer XP. One of the best rates. It's up there with Erits and Glaciers and all those other amazing tasks that can net you very, very fast Slayer XP per hour. And that is demonstrated in the slide here, which says 180 to 240k Slayer XP per hour. I was getting about 215k myself. However, I was not using a Steel Titan, so it could definitely be faster. And also, if you are not using tier 90 Mage, it's probably more around 180k because I was using tier 90 Mage. The profit per hour is pretty terrible, about 700k to 1200k depending on how much the light creature pouches sell for if you do decide to make them. Also, the charms are only okay. You'll get some crimsons and blues, not a whole lot, but it is enough to tide you over and make it a somewhat decent task in that regard. But let's not fool ourselves, this task is all about the Slayer XP and really not about anything else. The gear here is really simple. I just wear Robes of Subjugation. I would recommend using magic here. I wouldn't really recommend using the other two combat styles. For one, because the highest level shadows, they can hit fairly hard, but they do use melee, and I've found even just wearing Robes of Subjugation, they do miss on you fairly accurately. However, if you're using either range armor or melee armor, they're going to hit you a lot more, so that could cause problems, especially for people that maybe don't have Soul Split unlocked, or don't have the Vampirism aura, or don't have tier 90 Mage, and then you'd have to bank for food, and that would just be irritating. Other than that, I have the Noxious Staff. You can swap that out for a Chaotic Staff if you wish. Dragon Rider Amulet is always a must if you have the Dragon Breath ability on your ability bar, and the rest is fairly standard mage gear setup. In my inventory, I just have a whole bunch of prayer potions for soul splitting the entire task. If you don't have soul split, you probably want to replace those with sharks and maybe a couple prayer potions to pray melee, because these guys do hit 1Ks fairly rapidly if you are not using protection from melee and you don't have soul split. And in my inventory, of course, I have Yak. If you want the task to go a little bit faster, you can use a Steel Titan and bring a Spring Cleaner along instead, and that is definitely an option. The area with the shadows in it is located just a little bit west to the Elf City Lodestone, which is extremely convenient and really easy to bank if you ever have to do that during this quest. And you will be killing, there's three types of shadows. There's the Truthful Shadows, which are the lowest level one, the Blissful Shadows, which are the medium, and the ones that you want to be focusing on are the Manifest Shadows. Unfortunately, there is only one place with a bunch of Manifest Shadows spawns in the northeastern part of the area, which has 3 Manifest Shadows. However, if you're killing these, unless you have a really bad damage output or something, you still will have to kill some of the other shadows just while you're waiting for spawns and all that. I'd recommend mostly sticking on those Manifest Shadows because they give by far the best XP and they don't really take much longer to kill than some of the lower level ones do, so those are definitely the best ones to stick at for Slayer. Also, these things drop a fair amount of shadow cores, and what you can do with these is put them in the middle and they'll give you divination XP, along with a chance of getting a light orb, which is the secondary ingredient for making light creature pouches, which are a level 87 summoning pouch. And what that summoning pouch does is it teleports you very close to the Tormented Demons area. So if you're into that, I have no idea how much they sell for. I imagine it's probably a decent amount since the secondary ingredients are fairly hard to obtain. It's a decent amount of divination XP. It's probably around 20 to 25k divination an hour, so it's not going to blow your socks off or anything, but it's very, very helpful if you are not yet 99 divination. The strategy for this task is really quite simple. You just want to hang out along one of the bridges and make sure you're killing those Manifest Shadow spawns as much as possible. Using your Sunshine as much as possible, I'd recommend using it on the Manifest Shadows, and killing a few of the lower level shadows while you're waiting for their next spawn. As long as you have tier 90 Mage, or even if you have tier 80 and you're just having a good damage output, you should be able to get well over 200k Slayer an hour on average. And this task will last a fair amount of time because they're a fairly high level monster, so they have a decent amount of HP and it takes a while to do it. Again, it took me 30 minutes, so that's a good length for a task and a really solid amount of Slayer XP. Time for everyone's favorite part, the rewards of the task itself. So it took almost exactly 30 minutes on the dot to do this task, so that was really convenient for figuring out how much XP I got, but I got 107k Slayer XP during this task, which would lead to 214k Slayer XP an hour, which is, you know, a very, very good task. It's up there among the best tasks in the game, along with 355k GP. Yeah, the money made from this task is not great, but like I said at the very beginning of the video, it's not about the GP for this one. In conclusion, I would really, really recommend doing this task as long as you have access to the Elf City. Then you should be able to get this one from Morvran. And that's about all for me, so feel free to check out the rest of my Slayer guides. The link is on screen as well as in the description, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the next video. Farewell.